baseman, number 28, Dave Tofflin. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 27, Gary Laura. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 11, Stephen Wilmer. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 34, Austin Chenard. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 13, Garrett Keever. Batting ninth, the second baseman, number 12, Alex Adams. Pitching for the Vibes, number 30, Malik Bids. And now, the starting lineup for your Northern Colorado Owls. The Owls are led by manager Dimitri Young. Leading off for the second game in a row, shortstop number 24, TJ McKenzie. Batting second, the designated hitter number 8, Kai Booty. Batting third, the third baseman, number 6, Kyle Jenkins. Batting fourth, the catcher, number 16, Manny Jackson. Batting fifth, the center fielder, number 14, Traylon Owlz. Batting sixth, first baseman, number 31, Matt Fabian. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 12, Marquise Jackson. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 15, Anthony Torrielis. Batting ninth, the left fielder, number 7, Gordon Richardson. Starting on the mound for your Owls, number 19, Waldo Rama.
Good evening and welcome in Game 2 of this twin bill here from Fort Collins. The Vibes and the Owls. Brendan Price here with you. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Friday evening in Fort Collins. The Owls looking to bounce back from a Game 1 defeat, the first game of the doubleheader, 10-6. No, it was 13-6. It all runs together with the multiple rain delays in Game 1. The Owls rallied early in the ball game. They got 5+ innings out of Noel Soto in the start, but the Vibes offense too much to overcome in Game 1. Rocky Mountain had 4 home runs in that first game, highlighted by a pair of solo shots from Christian Pregent and a 3-run home run from Gary Laura, part of the offensive output for the Vibes, who are already off to a hot start this year at Northern Colorado's expense. The Vibes 7-1 coming into play tonight. The Owls had their first win of the year last Sunday in the first game of what was supposed to be a doubleheader down in Colorado Springs. Game 2 was rained out, so the Owls had the 7-1 win in Game 1 of the doubleheader a Sunday ago. Johan Castillo was throwing a no-hitter going into the bottom of the 7th inning. The Vibes finally scratched across a run, but the Owls hung on for the 7-1 win. The Rocky Mountain Vibes starting lineup: Sam Linscott will lead it off in center field. Kellum Clark will bat second in right field. Will Butcher, the DH, will bat third. Dane Topland at third base will bat fourth. Gary Laura will bat fifth at first base. Stephen Wilmer in left field will bat sixth. Austin Chenard will do the catching and bat seventh. Garrett Keever at short will bat eighth, and Alex Adams will round it out in the 9 hole at second base. And on the mound for the Vibes will be Malik Binns, the right-hander, getting the nod for Les Lancaster here in Game 2. He was effective in his first and only start this year through 5 innings, allowed 4 runs on 4 hits and walked 5. For Northern Colorado, they'll turn to the right-hander Ubaldo Romo to try and get the twin bill split here this afternoon. Romo making his second start of the season. These two teams have seen a lot of each other over the last couple of weeks, and the right-hander Romo will try and rebound. He was saddled with the loss his last time out through 4 1/3 innings, allowed 9 runs on 9 hits, surrendered a couple of home runs as well, and that was something that came up and reared its head during Game 1. The dimensions here at City Park in Fort Collins, 335 down the left and right field lines, just 352 to the gaps in left and right center field, and 378 to straightaway center field. And we saw at times in Game 1, both Riley Phillips, the left-hander for the Vibes, and Noel Soto for Northern Colorado, we saw both of them try and tiptoe around the strike zone in Game 1, owing to the fact that fly balls are going to carry, they're going to carry out, and they're going to get out in a hurry. We mentioned Rocky Mountain with the 4 home runs in Game 1. Kai Moody had a home run of his own for Northern Colorado, his second of the year. The highlight offensively for the Owls, who did pick up 6 runs despite the loss in Game 1 of the Twin Bill. A doubleheader here today and a doubleheader tomorrow as well from Fort Collins here at City Park. We're working to have the game on FloSports tomorrow. And today was a little bit of a quick turnaround. Everyone's still getting adjusted to the temporary digs for the Owls. So appreciate everyone joining us here today on the YouTube audio stream. Couldn't let you go without anything for day 1 of Owls baseball at home, so got this whipped up in a hurry for you. It's Northern Colorado trying to get their first home win of the year after recording their first road win down in the Springs on Sunday. Brendan Price back with you for more Owls baseball. A big thank you to everyone for joining us here as year number 4 in Northern Colorado well underway as the Owls try and find the win column again. The defensive outlook behind Ubaldo Romo for Northern Colorado.
Same 3 umpires for Game 2.
Matt Fabian at first base.
Travis
Anthony Torellis at second. TJ McKenzie at short. Kyle Jenkins at third base. Gordon Richardson in left. Traylon Holmes in center. Marquise Jackson in right field. Manny Jackson will catch for Ubaldo Romo again. As the Owls get ready to get underway here. As we've had the 30 minutes between both games here today. Again, Game 1, thought we were going to get away with it without any rain delay or weather impacts, but such is life in the northern Colorado area this time of year. The weather reared its head, and we had a bit of a lightning delay and a rain delay as well. Sat through just over 30 some odd minutes. As the Owls moments away from taking the field, they'll be in their wind stripes here again this afternoon, trying to break those in at home for the first time. Well, the 13-6 ball game in Game 1. Again, the Owls fell behind early after the first couple of innings. It was a 2-spot for the Vibes in the first, followed by a 7-spot in the second. Rocky Mountain had a 9-2 lead going into the bottom of the second. The Owls closed the gap with a 4-spot punctuated by a couple of bases-loaded walks and RBIs. It chased Riley Phillips from the ball game, and at one point in the second inning, the Owls had the go-ahead run at the plate. And left-hander Doug Olshazy, who came on and ultimately got the win for the Vibes, pitched out of the jam, threw another inning and 2/3 of scoreless work, and allowed the Rocky Mountain offense time to lift off against the Northern Colorado bullpen. Again, ultimately walking away with that 13-6 win in Game 1 were the Vibes. And Rocky Mountain off to one of its best starts since the Pioneer League became an independent ball league, now 7-1 out of the gate. It was also Les Lancaster's 100th win in the Pioneer League. So the second-year Vibes skipper hitting that 100 mark in short order here to start 2025, as it looks like everybody's about ready to go. One of the umpires is booking it towards the Owls dugout as we get ready to go here as we head to the evening in Fort Collins tonight. Again, the starting lineup for the Vibes as the Owls take the field. Linscott, Clark, and Butcher up top for Les Lancaster in that top third. The defensive outlook for the Owls: Fabian at first, Tori Ellis at second, McKenzie at short, Jenkins at third, Richardson in left, Holmes in center, Marquise Jackson in right, and the battery, Manny Jackson doing the catching, and Ubaldo Romo on the hill for the Owls. Talk about this Northern Colorado side, a little bit short on the experience side in terms of professional experience. Romo, one of the few guys with pro ball experience, and he's also got Pioneer League experience on the resume, as Romo had his previous season cut short due to injury. Rejoins after a brief stint in Grand Junction in 2023, as the 26-year-old has a 5-pitch mix: the cutter, fastball, sinker, changeup, and sweeper. And again, given the short dimensions of the ballpark, and at times in Game 1, what was a bit of a tight strike zone from our home plate umpire, you wonder, it's going to be imperative for the off-speed stuff to keep working for Romo here this afternoon. Right-hander making the second start of the year for the Owls, who, again, after a tough opening 8 games, trying to put that behind him and get back in the win column. It's a brief stint here at home in Fort Collins for the Owls, as they'll play the 4 games here this weekend, 2 today and 2 tomorrow, with a 2 p.m. first pitch in Game 1 of the doubleheader tomorrow as well. And then they're on the road, headed to Billings for a 6-game series. That is a long bus ride, folks. That is 13, 14 hours. If Debbie's driving, it's 12. Yeah, one of the bus drivers here in Colorado, phenomenal person. She also races stock cars out in Julesburg. And so, man, I have seen her whip that bus around like it's nothing. Sam Linscott set to lead it off here tonight in Fort Collins, batting from the right-hand side. Home plate umpire points it in, and we're ready to go. First pitch from the right-hander Romo out of the windup on the way. Swung on and foul tipped to the backstop by Linscott. And we are underway at 6:13 this evening. First pitch temperature, I'm going to take 67. One of these days, as Jordan Freemeyer, my research team next to me, points out, 65. One of these days, I'll get that first pitch temperature accurate. I've got, 40-some-odd more opportunities, so we'll work it in. A 1 from Romo, fouled straight back by Linscott. And it's quickly 0-2. 27-year-old from Marysville, Washington, played in the Frontier League last year after a couple of seasons in the Pioneer League with the Glacier Range Riders. Oh, man, what a beautiful ballpark they have in Kalispell as well. It's all turf. 0-2 from Romo. That one fouled off again as Linscott stays alive. First at bats in the series for Linscott, but he was phenomenal down in Colorado Springs. 12 for 16. That's 750 for you math majors at home at the plate. 5 RBIs, 5 walks, 2 doubles, a triple, 2 stolen bases, a partridge and a pear tree for the Vibes leadoff batter. 0-2 on the way. And Linscott will drop one into left field. Richardson will play it on a hop. And the leadoff man aboard for the Vibes here in the top of the first inning. And that was something that plagued Northern Colorado in Game 1 of the doubleheader. A lot of traffic on the base paths. And a fair bit of that traffic wound up crossing home plate. Kellum Clark will stand in. Batting from the left-hand side. Romo out of the stretch for the first time. Misses downstairs with the off-speed. And the count 1-0. Clark had a couple of runs in the first game of the doubleheader. Part of the 13-run barrage for the Vibes, who continue to have their way with Al pitching. And this is a Rocky Mountain side that has gotten off to some fast starts this year as that one's poked into left center field. That's going to roll to the fence. And on the move and headed for third is Linscott. He'll pull up, and it's a double into the left center field gap. And all of a sudden, the Vibes have runners at second and third with nobody out against Romo. And to the point about that fast start, the Vibes have outscored their opponents 10-2. I should say their opponent, as they've only faced the Owls 10-2 in the first inning this year, +8 in that opening frame, as the designated hitter Will Butcher will stand in. Batting from the right side, he was over at first base in Game 1 of the doubleheader. First pitch, and Butcher grounds that off his leg, foul for strike one. Well, the Owls were a bit more judicious with their pitching use in Game 1. They got 5+ out of Noel Soto, and then Zach Hill came in through a third of an inning before the rain delay, and Andrew Weibert came on and finished the job with a scoreless 7th inning. And Butcher, a ground ball base hit into shallow center field, and that will plate 2. No throw home from Holmes. And 3 batters, 3 base runners, and 2 runs for the Vibes, who have picked up where they left off after Game 1, and they've got a 2-0 lead. Dean Toplin batting cleanup over at third base, a familiar face to many. Third year in the Pioneer League, second with the Vibes. After a torrid second half, he hit over 340. Established himself as a fan favorite at Block Tickets Park. Here he lifts a fly ball, shallow left field. Richardson charging in, ranging out to grab it. McKenzie over the shoulder for out number 1. Good communication in shallow left field. McKenzie reaching over the shoulder with his back to the infield to make the catch for out number 1. And that at times can be the benefit of having an outfielder at shortstop. He's got that range on those pop-up fly ball opportunities, as Gary Loro will stand in. Takes the first pitch ball down below the knees. Laura had a 3-run home run in the first game of the doubleheader. Already his second home run of the year. First pitch, or rather second pitch from Romo, clips the inside corner, evens the count 1-1. It's a quick fist pump strike call, kept in towards the body. Not particularly press box friendly, but we've made do. Hot chopper to short. McKenzie will field it on 2 bounces. The short way, Torellis across the diamond. Fabian with the pick, and that will retire the side. The Vibes pick up a pair of runs, however, on the RBI base hit from Will Butcher. We'll head to the bottom of the first. 2-0. Rocky Mountain leads. This is Northern Colorado Owls baseball.
Leading off the inning for the Northern Colorado Owls, shortstop, TJ McKenzie.
TJ McKenzie will lead it off here on the bottom of the first for Northern Colorado. McKenzie followed by Moody and Jenkins against the right-hander Malik Binns. The Vibes already a 2-0 advantage after a fast start in the top half of the inning. Single, double, and a base hit plated the runs as McKenzie flies the first pitch foul down the first base line and out of play for strike one. McKenzie a base hit in the first game of the doubleheader for the Owls in that leadoff spot. Binns out of the windup. A 59-footer that almost caught Chenard in the mask. Spiked the fastball low. And Binns' second start of the year against Northern Colorado. Went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, 4 hits, and walked 4 in his first one as McKenzie chops another one towards the Vibe dugout foul on the count 1-2. As the Owls try to get some base running going here. Try and eat into that early 2-0 deficit. Binns goes with the off speed, and McKenzie will serve this into shallow right center field. It's a leadoff base hit for the Owls shortstop, and Noko in business here in the bottom of the first. As that will bring up Kai Moody. Moody delivered a home run over the left field fence in game 1 of the doubleheader. Moody DHing here, getting a partial day off in game 2 of the doubleheader. And the first ball is blistered to right center field. Track, wall, esa pelota se fue. That's a 2-run jack for Kai Moody over the fence in right center field. Home run number 3. And Northern Colorado ties it at 2 in the bottom of the first. That is exactly the kind of response Northern Colorado was looking for right there. As third baseman Kyle Jenkins will stand in, and that has been the other side of the coin for the Owls here in the early going this season. Has been as good as the vibes have been getting ahead of the Owls early in ball games. Northern Colorado hasn't really been in a position often early where they've been able to bounce back from those deficits. A big 2-run home run for Moody ties the score, the 1-0 to Jenkins very late on the fastball. Binns straightens him up, evens the count. Jenkins, the DH in game 1 of the doubleheader. Swap spots with Moody. Jenkins, a year in Idaho Falls last season. Cup of coffee in the Pioneer League, just under 100 plate appearances. Does he offer? It's up and away for ball 3. So Northern Colorado trying to add to the tally. Look for their 3rd consecutive base runner of the inning as Jenkins swings away. Grounds one foul to the backstop. And that'll run the count full to the Owl third baseman. Payoff pitch from the right-hander Binns. Up and away for ball 4. Jenkins will work the walk. He'll jog 90 feet down to first base. And Northern Colorado matching the vibes first inning. Rocky Mountain also put their first 3 batters aboard. And that will bring up the catcher, Manny Jackson. Jackson, 23-year-old rookie from Kansas City. And he waves and misses at the first pitch fastball. Jackson, 267 with 3 RBIs down in Colorado Springs, had a double to right center field in the series. A 1 from Binns, and Jackson inside out flare, foul down the third base line. And there's not a lot of room between the baselines and the parking lots here, so everyone, myself included, that parked close to the ballpark, taking a calculated risk off speed. Binns tries to speed up Jackson's bat, who fights it off, stays alive, and we'll see a 4th pitch of the at-bat. And they called time as the home plate umpire with that. If that look could kill one of us up here, would be in trouble. It's opening day for everyone back here. 0-2 on the way. Misses up and away for ball 1. And I tell you, Binns, just by the sound of it, sitting low to mid-90s on that fastball. It's just a question of putting it in a spot where hitters will chase it a touch. Here tries to go down with the off speed. Jackson doesn't bite and has worked the count back even, 2-2. Jackson, couple years of college ball at Norfolk State in the MEAC. Hit .331 with 6 home runs across just under 350 plate appearances at the collegiate level. Ring him up on the outside corner. Fastball catches Jackson looking for out number 1. And that will bring up Traylon Holmes, the Owls center fielder. The 23-year-old Georgian off to a bit of a slow start at the dish. Did have a 2-run base hit in the first game of the doubleheader. A couple of punch-outs as well as he takes the fastball down and away for ball 1. And that's always the trick here at the professional level is how often, how quickly does it take guys to get adjusted? As, oh man, Chenard took that one right off the dome. Foul tip, home plate umpire Patrick Schatzman immediately asking for Les Lancaster and the Vibes training staff to come out and take a look. That was a rocket off the bat of Holmes. And Kat Pacheco, the athletic trainer, coming out to make sure that Chenard is still good to go. Third-year Pioneer League guy. He's a gamer. And the Chandler, Arizona product shakes it off and says, let's do it again. 1-1 the count to Holmes. That's why catcher's such a tough position. There is no reaction time whatsoever on that. You have all the protective gear, but at the end of the day, it's still a baseball hitting you at 90 to 100 miles an hour. Holmes gets ahead 2-1. Jenkins waiting off of first base after drawing the walk. 2-2 here in the bottom of the first. That misses down and in. Backs Holmes up a touch, who's in the driver's seat 3-1. It's the Owls trying to grab their first lead of the Twin Bill today. Didn't miss by much on the outside edge. Holmes will take the 5-pitch walk, and the Owls are cooking with gas here in the bottom of the first. As Matt Fabian set to stand in. And I tell you, especially in this ballpark, if Fabian can get a hold of something, it is trouble. It's also probably on its way back to Windsor. First pitch from Binns. Fastball in for strike one to the Owls first baseman. Fabian checks in at 6'2", 210. The only Canadian on the Owls roster. Takes a slider down and away. Chenard likes his spot. That's what you want to do right on right. Get that hard slider down and away. Get a guy to chase. Get a free strike out of it. That's where you want to be. And here, Chenard with the frame job tries to get the top of the zone. It misses, and the count 2-1. No TrackMan, no ABS. So everyone going by the strike zone of the home plate umpire tonight. No opportunity to challenge. 2-1. Fabian, a ground ball to second. This could be two. It'll be a top turn. Adams to Kieber. The rocket across to first, and that will retire the side. Kai Moody goes deep, plates the Owls 2 runs. We'll head to the top of the second in game 2 of this doubleheader. 2-2, all tied up. This is Northern Colorado Owls baseball. top of the second here from City Park in Fort Collins. Brendan Price with you, the home opener today for the Owls. 2-2 after an inning of play. A 7-inning ball game here as part of this doubleheader as Jackson got his mask caught on the throw down, so it made its way a quarter of the way up the third base line. He's inspecting it like, how did that happen? He's got to reaffix it. Stephen Wilmer will lead off the top half of the second inning for the Vibes, followed by Chenard and Kieber. 6, 7, 8 for Rocky Mountain, who got the first three runners on base, single, double, single, and then a fly out and a double play ball got the Owls and Ubaldo Romo out of the top half of inning number one. Misses downstairs for ball one. Wilmer, the switch hitter, second time with the Vibes. Split last year with Oakland and Rocky Mountain. Hit over 300 across the year as he grounds one sharply foul just past the Vibe dugout to even the count 1-1. Wilmer hit .333 by the time the season was done last year. Another one of those guys that's very good in this league, 25 years of age, switch hitter. And here another one, look out. Cat Pacheco having to duck out of the way of the Vibes trainer over on the railing. Wilmer was part of a big trade. It was a 5-player deal with the Vibes and the Ballers at the midway point of last season. The Vibes basically picked up a new outfield. They got Trevor Halsema and Austin Davis alongside Wilmer, who dribbles the 1-2 pitch foul straight back. Wilmer, in many ways, what's becoming a rare breed, switch hitting, inspired by Chipper Jones. That's a pretty good switch hitter to model yourself after. As you know, you hear from guys that'll talk about it's hard enough to maintain one swing, let alone two. Goodbye. Wilmer gets caught watching the paint dry. A fastball on the outside edge, and the first strikeout of the ball game for Ubaldo Romo. Only had a pair of those his last time out against the Vibes. As Austin Chenard will stand in. And again, another one of those guys with oodles of PBL experience. First pitch from Romo to Chenard down the third base line, foul. These two guys briefly were teammates in Grand Junction 2 years ago. A 1 from Romo into Chenard. Long look out of the watch out. That one slipped, and Romo on his chest pats it and says, my bad. And again, Chenard with a chuckle alongside Manny Jackson. No intent whatsoever there in all three. The battery and the batter recognized that right away. Chenard last year played just 43 games with the Vibes down the second half of the season. Here takes one right back up the middle, past Romo's glove and into center field. So Chenard will ground another base hit up the middle, and that's been the story so far through an inning and change against Romo. Is it hasn't been a lot of hard contact. A couple of singles back up the box have been the issue as Garrett Kieber stands in with one away and a runner on first. The 28-year-old is balling out to start the year for the Vibes. Doing it at Northern Colorado's expense. And here he wraps one to short. McKenzie the scoop. Over to second. Across to first. It's a double play. And that will retire the side in the second. 2 innings, 2 double play balls. deuce is wild as we head to the bottom of the second. A 2-2 tie. This is Northern Colorado Owls baseball. Bottom of the second, Marquise Jackson to lead it off for the Owls. Jackson followed by Torrielis and Richardson for Northern Colorado here in the bottom of the second. 2-2, all tied up. Both teams with a pair in the top half of inning, or rather in the first inning. That was a sentence somewhere, I promise. First pitch from Binns. Watch out. Fastball up and in. Watch the eye holes. 1-0 the count to Marquise. And again, that's one of those things that no intent there, but it's not going to make you feel any better when somebody's throwing low to mid 90s up near your face. 1-1, Jackson takes down and away. Jackson made his debut on Sunday down in the spring, start of the year on the IL. Ahead in the count, 2-1. First year pro, played his college ball at Central Michigan. Here a fastball swung on and missed, evens the count 2-2. Jackson got in on the action at Central Michigan. Hit 229 across 2 years. 2-2 from Binns, and Jackson rolls this over to second. Takes a weird bounce. Adams over to first, and finding the bag is Laura for out number 1. That play was tougher than it looked. Ball looked like it hit the edge of the infield grass. Almost took a right turn on Alex Adams at second. Laura had started out to play it, and then had to return to the bag at first base, had to find it with his back foot. And Jackson hustling down the line made it interesting within a couple of steps, as infielder Anthony Torrielis will step in and takes a first pitch ball. Torrielis, 26 years old in his second professional season, played with Evansville in the Frontier League back in 2022 in the driver's seat 2-0. Still waiting for the bat to get comfortable. He had to pitch a couple of times down in Colorado Springs, the first series of the year. 2-0 from Binns. Torrielis bends out of the way of ball 3 on the inside corner. And you've got to think the red light is glaring here for the Owls. Love some base runners against Binns here in the bottom half of the second inning. Torrielis takes the get-me-over fastball for strike 1. Binns, 26 years of age, is Torrielis. That one's grounded to first. Laura recovers, gets to the bag himself, And that one nearly tripped up the Vibes first baseman. Instead, Tori Ellis is out on the U3 for those of you scoring at home. As the left fielder, Gordon Richardson, will stand in for the Owls. Richardson in the 9-hole here tonight for the Owls in their win stripes. Richardson, also a first-year pro, one of the 10 Californians on the roster as he fouls strike one straight back. As much as I will hype being a Californian as much as the next guy, there's really only three things that I miss. No winter and no spring. As Richardson waves and misses at strike two. In and out, but they put one in Loveland here, so we're set. And the beach. Richardson cuts and misses. Drop third strike. Chenard will pick it up and lob it down to first. Laura will touch the bag. And the Owls are down in order in the second. We'll head to the top of the third, tied up at 2. Game 2 of this twin bill tonight in Fort Collins. This is Northern Colorado Owls baseball. Top of the third inning here at City Park in Fort Collins. Alex Adams will lead off the top of the second, followed by Linscott and Clark. After Romo throws up a donut in the top half of the second inning. And it's a relatively continued and lively debate in our press shed in between innings. I stand by in and out. As a Southern Californian, it's delicious. Now, that being said, as Romo catches the inside edge for strike one, gets ahead. What I will say about in and out is I absolutely understand it's one of those things that if you grow up with it as a Californian, you'll defend it until your death. Now, if you're not from there, it's not the same. It really isn't. Ground ball, McKenzie deep in the hole, glances off his glove at short and into shallow left field. Adams with a wide turn, but he'll hold on at first base with a leadoff base hit. The other thing I would say with in and out is you can go there, you can get basically a double cheeseburger, you can get fries, you can get a soda, and you can do it for less than $11. You can't do that at many places in 2025. I mean, and then if you want to, you could upgrade the soda for a milkshake, and man, those things are top tier. First pitch strike into Linscott, who singled in his first at bat. See, and the benefit and detriment of me being in this particular spot in an open press box is I've now started a debate that I can no longer participate in. Just keeping it rolling. Lynn Scott to straightaway center field. Holmes ranging back. Track. Wall over the shoulder. Can't get it. It's off the fence in straightaway center field. And the benefit in Holmes with the range is that the runner at first base, Adams, had to hold up. Couldn't break right away. It'll save, at least temporarily, a run for the Owls and put runners at second and third with nobody out for Kellum Clark. Clark shot a double into the right center field gap in his first at bat. Came around to score as well. One of the two Rocky Mountain Vibe runs in that first inning. It's Romo trying to work himself out of a pickle here. Two runners in scoring position and no one out in the top half of the third inning. And the first pitch misses down and away. 4-1. Falls behind the Vibe right fielder. 24 years old. Spent last year in the New York Mets system alongside Chris Pregent. So those two made their way down to Colorado Springs together. And that ball is yanked down the right field line into the corner. It'll short hop the fence. This will plate two. Clark on the move, and he's safe at second. It's a two-run, two-base hit for Clark, and the Vibes immediately make Northern Colorado pay. And they've got a 4-2 lead here in the top half of the third inning. Still nobody out. As the designated hitter, Will Butcher, will stand in. Butcher 1 for 1, a two-run base hit to center field in the first inning. Dribbled a couple more RBIs up the middle. Romo again out of the stretch. First delivery to Butcher. Missed down and away with the sinker. Falls behind 1-0. Butcher in the Atlantic League last year with the Ferry Hawks in Staten Island. 1-0 from Romo. Again, this time trying to go down and in with the sinker. Falls behind 2-0. Hitters count to a guy that has enough power in the bat. You don't want to fall behind and leave something over the zone. 2-0 on the way. And there's ball three, down and away. That's why I'm up in the broadcast booth with glasses on. We'll see. Butcher may have the green light here on 3-0. Certainly has command of the plate enough. That was the same pitch. This time it's a strike, 3-1. (3-1) on the way from Romo with Clark standing off of second base. And that one misses in the dirt. A good block by Jackson, but it's a 5-pitch walk issued to the designated hitter for the Vibes. Puts runners on first and second with nobody out. If anything, it puts the double play back in order. The Owls turned one in the first and one in the second. Both of them were inning ending. As third baseman Dean Tofflin will stand in. Tofflin 0 for 1. Started his professional career with two of the three Canadian teams in the Frontier League in Quebec and Ottawa. And man, I tell you, in the Frontier League, Quebec has one heck of an experience at home. It's a phenomenal facility and won the Frontier League championship last year as well. 0-1 on the way from Romo to Toplin. And that one's fought off foul down the first base line through the trees and off the front of the Vibes bus on a bounce. Again, these two teams right back here tomorrow. A doubleheader here at City Park. Game 1 starting at 2 p.m. And game 2 will begin 30 minutes or thereabouts after the conclusion of game 1. Fastball from Romo missed up and into Toplin. The 30-year-old plays both corners of the infield, first and third. And third in both games here today. 1-2 from Romo. And Toplin off the end of the bat, dribbles it foul right behind home plate. As Northern Colorado trying to limit the damage to 2 here and keep themselves within striking distance of a twin bill split. The Vibes winning the first game 13-6 this afternoon. It was impacted by lightning and rain for about 35 to 45 minutes before we got back underway to finish the final inning and a third. 1-2 on the way again from the right-hander. Slider down and away, doesn't entice Toplin to bite, evens the count 2-2. Toplin started his Pioneer League career in Ogden at Lindquist Field. It's a beautiful facility in the heart of Ogden. Seats about, 4,000 or 5,000 or so, and typically near the top of the leaderboards in league attendance, as that one's knocked foul over towards the Little League field behind us. Toplin putting together quite the at-bat here. This will be pitch number 7. And the other thing, too, here this evening at City Park, no ABS, no pitch clock either. Oh, Romo, a little bit of extra time to lock in on one hot McKenzie. Smart play. He'll get the lead runner at third base. Didn't want to throw across his body. Instead, cuts down the lead runner, takes the out he's given. Runners on first and second now with one away for Gary Laura, as they'll cut down the lead runner, Clark. Keep the double play in order, and you'll trade out the wheels of Clark for Toplin, certainly over at first base. First pitch from Romo, laced into the gap, and that's going to roll to the fence. One run is in. Toplin will turn, and he'll stop at third. Laura will pull into second with an RBI double, and the Vibes have a 3-run lead. It's 5-2 here in the top of inning number 3. And that will bring up the switch-hitting Stephen Wilmer to the dish, trying to extend the Al misery here in the top half of the third inning. Wilmer grounded into a double play last time up. Great block by Jackson. Ball 1 down and in. There's not a ton of room from home plate to the backstop here at City Park. There's enough room to make things interesting on a wild pitch or passed ball. It's still, compared to Four Rivers Equipment Stadium, as Wilmer cuts and misses at the fastball. Compared to Four Rivers Equipment Stadium, though, the home plate area between the backstop and home plate is spacious and luxurious. There's almost little to no wiggle room at the Owlz home in Windsor. Romo yanked a fastball up and away. Hitters count to Wilmer in the driver's seat, 2-1, with runners at second and third. Let's see what Romo wants to do here. Might entice him with a little backdoor off speed. Instead, went upstairs with the cutter and missed, and it's 3-1. All quiet on the Western Front down in the Owlz bullpen. Romo laboring a touch here in the third. Really the first time, though, as Wilmer takes strike two, runs the count full. First three batters in the first inning reached base against Romo, then rebounded, got a fly out, a ground out into a double play. Kept the vibes off the score sheet in the second. The third has been more laborious for the right-hander. Payoff pitch, and Wilmer hits a home run into the stratosphere. So good for an elevator shaft. Instead, it's a foul pop-up to third. Jenkins will reel it in for out number two. Yeah, by height, that looked good off the bat. By distance, it was only about 45 feet down the third base line, as Austin Chenard will stand in. Chenard bounced a base hit up the middle in his first at bat this evening. Romo missed outside to Chenard for ball one here. Jackson had to reach back across the body for it. Well, Chenard in 2023 was a part of the wagon that was the Grand Junction Rockies at the time in the second half. Grand Junction won the league championship in 2023. Or was it 22? My research team, Jordan Freemeyer, to my right, corrected me there. So Chenard a year off from that championship run. Yes, you're right. That was the first year the Owls were in Windsor, where we played Grand Junction in Rocky Mountain approximately 7 million times in 96 games. Chenard pops this up. It's going to get over the press box behind home plate foul for strike one. And Northern Colorado's first year in Windsor, 96-game schedule, 30 against Rocky Mountain, 30 against Grand Junction, 16 against Ogden. Or 18 against, no, it was 24 against Ogden. 2 homes series and 2 away series. And by season's end, those 3 teams, some of the guys were friends, some of them very much not so. As the slider from Romo drops in for strike 2, evens the count to Chenard. Two-two. Delivery on the way from Romo out of the stretch. And Chenard will knock one off the end of the bat, foul towards the vibes on deck circle. And the third inning is at least the final out of it, proving a touch elusive for Romo at the moment. Some clouds on the horizon in right center field. They don't look, well, they look ominous, but they don't look like they're headed this direction, which is a net win. Chenard a wave and a miss. He's down by way of the K, and Romo retires the side. 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base for the Vibes. We'll head to the bottom of the third. The Owls trail 5-2. This is Northern Colorado Owls baseball. bottom of the third. TJ McKenzie will lead it off for Northern Colorado. Top of the Owlz order, McKenzie, Moody, and Jenkins here in the bottom of inning number 3. McKenzie 1 for 1, a base hit. Watch out. A fastball right between the numbers as Binns plunks McKenzie. And he'll trot down to first base. And again, no apparent intent there. Kai Moody, the designated hitter, will stand in. And he has been scorching hot to start the year, hitting nearly 400 with 3 home runs. Here chases a slider downstairs for strike 1. Moody 1 for 1, a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first, his 3rd of the year. Here, that same pitch this time doesn't bite. Skips away from Chenard over into the left-handed batter's box. He recovers, evens the count 1-1, and keeps McKenzie at first base. Fastball, and Moody again cracks one to right center field. Towards the warning track. Oh, what a catch. Home run robbery in right field. Sticking the glove up and hoping for the best out in right. And getting the job done was Callum Clark. Took 2 runs away from the Owls. A long, loud out number 1. And that will bring up Kyle Jenkins. As the Owl third baseman reached on a walk in the first inning. His only plate appearance here chases the off speed downstairs for strike 1. And the Owls like the vibes in that first inning. Their first 3 batters, McKenzie, Moody, and Jackson, reached base. Binns trying to settle in and find a groove here. Puts the fastball in for strike 2 and works ahead of Jenkins. McKenzie with an explorative lead off of first base, and he's on the move on the pass ball, and he'll take 90 feet. Chenard slightly limping coming out of the crouch. It seems to be no worse for wear. And prior to the game today, the 2 teams were out here, both coaching staffs as well. And the mound is a touch steep. And so one of the things the 2 teams agreed to for the doubleheader, at least for today, until they can hopefully rectify it, is that no steals, no bunts, because multiple pitchers for both teams, the coaches, all tried different variations of pickoff moves and spinning around, and they all kind of landed awkwardly enough that maybe an ankle or leg injury was in someone's future. So didn't present any problems striding home whatsoever. It was just a matter of that spin laterally to the bases. And so the 2 teams prior to the game agreed on that condition. As Binns looking for the outside corner with the fastball, doesn't find it, evens the count 2-2 to Jenkins. And so with that tweak, neither team has been particularly active on the base paths, which, as the way the season has started, hasn't impacted either side too much. Neither has really been all that adventurous in the running game, as Jackson works the 1-out walk, and that'll put runners at first and second for Manny Jackson. Excuse me, that was Jenkins who worked the walk.
Now batting, catcher number 16, Manny Jackson.
Binns out of the stretch. First pitch, down and away, misses to Jackson. The Owl catcher 1-0 from Binns. Jackson will ground this foul. Good hands over on the rail on the Vibes dugout. So you stay engaged down there. It's a pretty short distance from the dugout rail to home plate. Both of these teams in the dugout, they've got to look alive down there. 1-1, Jackson chases one in the dirt. Falls behind 1-2. Binns trying to have that 3 spot for his offense last a while. With a 5-2 lead here in the bottom of the third. Jackson will loop one to right field. Clark will play it in the air and make the catch. McKenzie will tag, and he'll scamper to third. So runners at the corners with 2 away. A productive out for Jackson, the catcher. And Braylon Holmes set to stand in for the Owls, the center fielder. Braylon trying to cash in with Owls on the bases. Runners at the corners and 2 away. Yeah, it's the home plate umpire calling time. Holmes 0 for 1 this evening. First pitch from Binns. Slider, man, Binns wanted that. Broke down and away. Didn't get the call on the outside edge. Holmes in the driver's seat. And the fastball from Binns pounds the zone and evens the count. 1-1. Infield playing deep, both Keeper and Adams on the edge of the infield dirt as Holmes swings and misses at the slider. And the count 1-2. Binns delivers, and the take trying to go back to the well with the off speed down and away to even the count 2-2. Holmes, a rookie from Griffin, Georgia, played his college ball at Mississippi Valley State in the SWAC. And Binns blows the fastball past Holmes for strike 3. That'll retire the side here in the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left on base by the Owl offense. We'll head to the top of the 4th inning. 5-2, Rocky Mountain with the lead. This is Northern Colorado Owls baseball. Brendan Price here with you. Northern Colorado Owls baseball from City Park in Fort Collins. Game 2 of the doubleheader here this afternoon and into the evening as Garrett Kieber will lead off the top of inning number 4 for the Vibes. Kieber, Adams, and Linscott due up for Rocky Mountain. The Vibes won the first game of the doubleheader 13-6. They lead 5-2 in game 2. Romo trying to bounce back from a challenging third inning. Misses down low with ball 1. And really, as we talked about, that was the spot of trouble for Ubaldo, the only one thus far. The first 3 batters reached base, settled in the first. Set down the Vibes without allowing a run in the second. And then Kellum Clark with a 2-run double into the right field corner was the one who did the damage in the top half of inning number 3. 2-0 on the way from Romo to Kieber. Foul tip hung on to for strike 1. Talked about Kieber, how good he is at that shortstop position. Was with the Owls last season, had his 2024 campaign cut short by a couple of weeks with an injury. So good with the glove and timely with the bat. And he has been on fire to start the season. 12 runs batted in down in Colorado Springs. A grand slam at the Owls' expense. 3-1 fastball in for strike 2. Kieber with the grimace. That was his pitch. That's one of the things that last year he did so well was it wasn't that he just worked at bats, but man, when pitchers made mistakes over the heart of the plate, he delivered. 3-2 misses outside. Kieber draws the leadoff walk here to start the top of the 4th inning. And the Vibes again putting traffic on the bases as Alex Adams will stand in. Adams, second-year pro, was briefly with the Vibes last year after starting in the Frontier League with Evansville as he takes the first pitch strike. And that's not a pipeline that's unfamiliar in this league. You'll see guys that maybe are on the fringes or not getting the playing time, the at-bats in the Frontier League, and they'll make their way here to the PBL. Man, where did that miss? 1-1. I saw that over the last couple years for the Owls. Their lineup anchors, Jackson Coots and Dave Matthews, were in that boat. Romo misses down and away. It skips away from Jackson, rolls towards the Vibe dugout, and Kieber will nonchalantly jog to second and take the 90 feet, move into scoring position. Adams, 25 years old, played NAIA college ball at Missouri Baptist. And again, that's one of the things that is the beauty of the Pioneer League. It's a partner league. It's a developmental haven for guys that may not have caught anyone's eye or been on the radar because of playing NAIA or D2 ball. And that one's wrapped on a line to third. Jenkins, did he make the catch? Well, he's out one way or another. The throw over to Fabian was a little high. Had to reach up to rim level with that 6'2 frame to reel it in. We'll call it out number 1 on the L5 as Kieber stays put at second, and the lineup card turns over for the 3rd time to Sam Linscott. Some light calisthenic work going on down in the Northern Colorado bullpen, but no one really up and throwing as of yet. Slider misses down and away to Linscott for ball 1. 62 pitches for the right-hander Romo to get through 3 1/3. And again, tip of the cap to Noel Soto for throwing over 100 pitches, getting into the 6th inning, almost right up to the rain delay in game 1, and that ball is a missile. Tattooed into the trees over the fence in left field. Lynn Scott has a 2-run home run, and the Vibes have a 7-2 lead. That ball, that would have been gone in not just City Park. That ball evacuated the area with its hair on fire into the trees beyond the fence in left field. And the Vibes have their second home run of game 2 and their 6th of the doubleheader today. Despite all of the offensive fireworks that the visitors put up down in Colorado Springs last week, they didn't hit a ton of home runs across the 8 games, but they have more than made up for that here this evening in Fort Collins. A one-hopper to second by Clark. Torellis will scoop it up and go to Fabian at first for out number 2. And that's as good a bounce back as you can get for the right-hander Romo. You give up the home run and get Clark to chase on that first pitch, get the ground out. As Will Butcher, the designated hitter, will stand in 1 for 2 with a 2-run base hit back in the first inning. Butcher standing in with the bases empty and 2 away. Romo gets the sign he likes from Jackson. Kicks and fires, and if it's fair, it's very gone. And it is very, very gone into the trees in left field. Butcher tees off on the solo shot, and it's 8-2. And the only question was fair or foul, because on, StatCast, that's a home run in 30 out of 30 ballparks, including Yankee Stadium. Steen Toplin will stand in with 2 away, and the base is empty. I think I could hit a home run in Yankee Stadium, quite frankly, these days. You do have to hit one at least into the outfield. Sharp one-hopper eats up McKenzie at short on the backhand. And Toplin will stand on first as the meeting of the minds discussing whether it's a hit or an error. It'll be ruled a hit. I'm not sure that Toplin is going to complain, nor TJ McKenzie at short. As Gary Laura will stand in with 2 away and the runner on first. Back in my previous life, I got to take BP at Petco Park, and I was thrilled that I hit one into the outfield on the fly. And I mean, we're talking BP, right? Get the pitching machine out, 40, 50 miles an hour coming out of there. Yeah, thrilled. Hit one into left center field, a duck snort of a single. That's all I needed, really, to fill the confidence boat. Did have a guy there that yanked a couple home runs over the fence in left field. And that was before, I believe, they moved the fences in the 3rd time at Petco Park. They've done that 3 separate times across the ballparks, now 20 years. Romo, fastball in on the hands, misses, and evens the count to Gary Laura. At Petco Park, when it first opened, Coors Field-esque dimensions. 415 to right center field, 370 plus to left center field. And that was at sea level in a ballpark that is often handling the marine layer. Fly ball from Laura into left center. Holmes will jog under it and make the catch to retire the side in the 4th. 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and a runner left on base for the Vibes, who have jumped on top 8-2 as we are halfway home in game 2 of this doubleheader. We head to the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to Northern Colorado Owls Baseball. bottom of the fourth, as Matt Fabian will lead it off for the Owls, followed by Jackson and Tori Ellis. Rocky Mountain expanding their lead up 8-2 after the home runs in the top half of the inning as Fabian Jan rolls one. Thank you. A little home roll down the first base line. Had some backspin on it, kicked off the infield grass and rolled into foul territory before either Laura at first or Binns coming off the mound could retrieve it. So the Owl first baseman will get a bit of a second life at the plate. First pitch from, or rather the 0-1 from Binns, misses down the way, almost yanked Chenard's left shoulder out of its socket, reaching across the body for that, evens the count 1-1. Elsewhere around the Pioneer League tonight, Ogden with a 1-0 lead over the Yuba Sutter High Wheelers, that game in the top of the fifth. Boise up 2-0 on Great Falls, the Voyagers getting their first at-bats in the bottom of the first. Billings with a 3-0 lead over the Idaho Falls Chuckers, who alongside these Vibes have been one of the hottest teams in the Pioneer League at 7-2. To start the season as Fabian takes ball 3 low. Glacier and Missoula, they're just warming up and stretching, tied 0-0 at the bottom of the first. And Grand Junction and Oakland getting started at Raimondi Park, tied 0-0 in the top of the first. Fabian swings away on 3-1. And the count runs full after he whiffs on the fastball. And I have to say, I think Grand Junction probably has had the toughest schedule to start the year. They played Yuba Sutter, and then they played Oakland, as Fabian will chop a base hit right back up the box into center field, and the leadoff man aboard for the Owls here in the bottom of the fourth. And that will bring up Marquise Jackson, the Owl right fielder. Jackson will try and keep the line moving and bring the Owls a little bit closer here in the bottom half of inning number 4. Fastball away from Binns, who has settled into a groove after he gave up the 2 runs in the bottom of the first on the Kai Moody home run. Since then, he's been starting his own bakery, donut after donut, here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 1-0 from Binns, and Jackson waves and misses to even the count, 1-1. Fabian with a 1-step lead off of first base. 1-1 fastball from Binns, misses outside, and that's been probably Binns' most used pitch, but I don't think it's been his most effective pitch tonight. That slider, when he's gotten the Owls to chase, has been very, very sharp. 2-1 from Binns. Goes with the fastball again, misses down and inside. And Marquise in the driver's seat, 3-1. And down on the first base side, some of the little leaguers right up against the fence getting to watch some pro baseball. That's not a bad Friday night. Jackson takes ball 4. It's a 5-pitch walk. And the Owls have back-to-back runners on base as Anthony Torellis will step to bat. As Torellis will try and keep the line moving for Northern Colorado here, with runners at first and second and nobody out. A mound visit here to chat with Binns. And we'll see what anyone says. There was lightning well off in the distance. The question is going to be, is it enough out of the distance to keep the Owls and Vibes playing here tonight? As Torellis stands in with a couple on and nobody out. First pitch from Binns. Torellis with the take for strike one. Well, as much as you don't see switch hitters anymore, you sure don't see often guys bat without batting gloves. Torellis, a member of the Tough Knuckles Club. Some misses down and in. Evens the count 1-1. As the home plate umpire batting away what I'm sure are mosquitoes. Every year it feels like there's a plague of pestilence in the northern Colorado area. This year it feels like mosquitoes is what the wheel of misfortune has landed on. It's been grasshoppers in the past, moths. Although moths aren't technically insects, but they should be. They're pretty annoying. 1-2 on the way from Binns. Slider, ring him up on the outside edge. And right there, that pitch, the slider down and away to righties. When that has been rolling for Binns tonight, that has been the best pitch he's had. As Gordon Richardson will stand in with runners at first and second and one away, as we've got some folks racing mopeds out beyond the outfield fence. Pitch misses inside for ball one from Binns. Hey, if they're having a good time, so are we. One from Binns. In. Evens the count. That was the pitch that made it 1-1.
What do you think? ABS on that one?
Again, no ABS challenges available tonight here in Fort Collins, so everyone's got to deal with the strike zone as it is. Fabian heads for third on the passed ball. He'll get there. And on the wild pitch, and runners are at the corners with one away. And my high school back in Southern California had to start taking more extreme security measures after one year a couple folks drove their Harleys through an open gate right down the middle of graduation during the commencement speech. It's East County, San Diego in a nutshell, folks, as Richardson waves and misses at strike two. Binns gets the sign. Richardson is ground ball to third, deep in the hole. Toplin doesn't have a play. It's an infield base hit and an RBI for Richardson. And the Owls played a run, and it's 8-3. And that was smart defense from Toplin over at third base, as he didn't have a play at any base, didn't rush a throw, just ate it, and made sure that nothing worse happened, as some action down in the Owl bullpen. As Kennedy is up and throwing for Northern Colorado. First pitch from Binns. Now that fastball spiked into the dirt, rolls back to the screen. Everyone will take 90 feet. And now an opportunity for McKenzie to pull the Owls back to within slam range with a little flare into center field. So Richardson now at second and Jackson at third for TJ McKenzie. 1-0 from the right-hander Malik Binns. Fastball powers it past McKenzie to even the count. 24-year-old rookie played his college ball at Vanderbilt and Georgia Southern. Never a bad time to be calling yourself a collegiate baseball player that was able to play at Vandy. 2-1 from McKenzie, or to McKenzie rather. TJ McKenzie, the brother of Tristan McKenzie, pitcher for the Guardians. Here, TJ McKenzie waves and misses, chased a slider down the way. And again, that's where Binns has been at his best. Gets hitters chasing that slider. As the Folks all around home plate continue to try and bat away the mosquitoes. It's not easy, let me tell you. I lathered myself in bug spray before showing up to the ballpark today. You know how some people can be outside and the mosquitoes don't bother them whatsoever, and then there are other people that stand outside for 5 seconds? Yeah, I'm one of the latter folks. Helped my wife work on our fence the other day. Was out there for 10 minutes, came back in, and I had 5 new mosquito bites on my legs, and I was like, enough with this outdoor malarkey. McKenzie, a ground ball to third, and Tofflin boots it. E5, Tofflin thinking a step ahead. Got caught thinking about the throw over to first with the speedy McKenzie going down the first base line. Commits the error, and that'll put runners at first and second with 1 away, and it's an 8-4 ball game here in the bottom of the 4th. And now a meeting of the minds out on the hill with Malik Binns. Double barrel action down in the Rocky Mountain pen as the stretching and calisthenics quickly turning to soft tossing as the Vibes get some movement behind Binns, who's still nursing a 4-run lead. If he can finish the inning in a 7-inning contest, technically he is in line for the decision at that point, which, as things stand, would be a winning decision for the right-hander. So you've got to think that that was part of the conversation out on the hill for the right-hander was, hey, you're one double play ball from getting out of danger here in the bottom half of the 4th inning and preserving an opportunity to get the win. First pitch from Binns to Kai Moody, and he pops that into the upper stratosphere on the left side of the infield. Kieber settles under it and makes the catch for out number 2. And that will bring up Kyle Jenkins, the NOCO third baseman. So Jenkins trying to get some 2-out thunder here for Northern Colorado. And bring the Owls a little closer with 1 run already home. Here Jenkins cuts and misses. It was a healthy hack. 0-1. Binns trying to get out of this 4th inning. Hasn't had a ton of traffic outside of that first inning that he's had to contend with. Here the traffic of his own making, though. A couple of walks, infield single, and an E5. That's, 50% bad luck, 50% not finding the zone. Yeah, I think he went. Yeah, home plate umpire rings him up on the swing. 1-2, the count to Jenkins. And again, you couldn't pay me enough to try and call couldn't pay me to try and call a check swing from second base. That's a brutal call on the lines. As Jenkins muscles one foul down the third base line. And the Owl third baseman will stick around for another pitch. Richardson at second. McKenzie at first. Off speed, misses down and in. Might have been a cross-up. Chenard had to reach across the body. Evens the count 2-2. And these games here in Fort Collins this weekend, owing to the concert down at Block Tickets Park in Colorado Springs. Lil Jon and Timbaland. Yeah, fastball right down Broadway. Jenkins gets caught looking, and that will retire the side here in the 4th. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 runners left on base. The Owls creep a little closer. They still trail 8-4 as we head to the top of the 5th. Stephen Wilmer will lead off the top of the fifth for the Vibes against a new arm for Northern Colorado, as the left-hander Joshua Kennedy will take over in relief of Ubaldo Romo, a 25-year-old making his rookie stop here with the Owls in his first professional season. Foul tip, and that one caught Jackson behind home plate. And everyone will do the sporting thing and take an extra beat and give Jackson time to readjust. As Kat Pacheco, the Vibes trainer, coming out to look at the Owl catcher. Last time out for Kennedy, he threw a scoreless inning of work, struck out 1 on 12 pitches. That was on Sunday, or rather on Saturday, excuse me, a week ago against the Vibes. 0-1 misses inside, evens the count 1-1 from the southpaw. Kennedy, 4-pitch mix of 4-seam fastball, slider, changeup, and curve. As the count 1-2 now. Kennedy trying to keep the deficit at 4. And that one inside outed foul down the first base line by Wilmer. He'll stay alive and see another pitch. So Ubaldo Romo on the hook for the loss at the time being. 1-2, that one's grounded to short. McKenzie will charge in, throw across the diamond, a missile. Fabian unable to pick it, and it's an E6. Wilmer will reach base on the air. As the final line on Romo tonight goes 4 innings, allows 11 hits, 8 earned runs, walks 2, and strikes out 2. So matching the 4 innings he worked in his first start down in Colorado Springs last week. And again, the challenge as Chenard flies one to right. Jackson will check it. He's going to go back to first base, and the throw gets past Fabian. Man, that was darn near doubling off Wilmer over at first base. He was halfway to first and second. I'm not sure what the decision-making process there was, because Wilmer didn't go right back to the bag. And the Vibes were one short hop at first base away from having a base runner doubled off. First pitch from Kennedy. Misses up and away to Garrett Kieber for ball 1. 1-0 from Kennedy. Tries to entice a swing from Kieber down and in. Can't do it in the count 2-0. Kieber 0 for 1 with a walk and a run tonight. And he's in the driver's seat, 3-0 on Kennedy. Kieber, 1 of 2 Vibes without a hit as he takes strike 1 down and away. And the Owls would love nothing more than an inning-ending double play ball right here. That one misses down and in. Kieber will draw the 5-pitch walk, and multiple s'mores on the pond. As Alex Adams, the second baseman, will stand in, the 9-hole hitter for Rocky Mountain. There are some unique mascots and logos around the minor league and partner league circles. The Rocky Mountain Vibes, that's one of them. Got the flaming marshmallow Toasty as their mascot. It's certainly original. Kennedy with the curveball, drops it in. The hammer for strike one. And here Adams chases one down and in. That front door breaking ball for strike two. Kennedy trying to put up a zero here on the top of the fifth. Oh, ring him up. Uno, dos, adios. Adams back to the dugout by way of the K. 2 down, and here in the top half of inning number 5. You could hang that curveball in the Louvre. As Sam Linscott, the Vibe center fielder, will stand in. Linscott has had a whale of a ball game, 3 for 3 with a 2-run home run. As that one hits Linscott, and it will load the bases. And Kennedy walking the tightrope. And that will bring up the 2-hole hitter for the Vibes, Kellum Clark. And like Linscott, Clark has had a solid game, 2 for 3, a 2-run double into the right field corner in his last at-bat. That's been the hit that has given Rocky Mountain a bit of breathing room. Left on left slider clips the outside edge for strike one. And this is where you need Kennedy to lock in and get this very big third out. Did Clark offer? They'll appeal to second. No swing, evens the count. Kennedy goes back to the well with off speed. 1-1. Kennedy goes back to the hammer. And in for strike two. And a left-hander, 25 years of age from Upland, California, trying to work a scoreless inning in relief behind Ubaldo Romo. The 1-2. And Clark lays off that slider. Didn't start near enough towards the zone. Clark able to lay off and even the count 2-2. Kennedy out of the stretch, and Clark will flare this into right field. That's going to fall for a base hit with 2 away. Kieber comes home running on contact. It's a 2-run base hit. Clark with 4 RBIs in the ball game, and the Vibes have clipped double digits and lead 10-4. As the DH, Will Butcher, will stand in. And a tough break for Kennedy. Worked the at-bat well. Induced the soft contact. Soared. Butcher fooled on the slider for strike one. Kennedy got the weak contact to right field, but it was weak enough that it fell in front of the range of Jackson. As Butcher dribbles this one foul. Sounded like it may have clipped the inside of his foot. 0-2. The Owls trying to limit the damage at 2 here in the top of the 5th. Curveball misses inside for ball 1 to Butcher. Now Kennedy will lean in and get the sign from Jackson. And misses up and away, evens the count. Butcher trying to bring home some more Vibes out on the base paths. And he'll poke that one foul over the press box and out of play. Yeah, there's enough give with the fence line and the press box that we could get a foul ball back here. Not that I want one. I have bricks for hands, so I'm not sure I want to try and field the foul ball. 2-2 on the way from Kennedy. Backdoor slider just couldn't get the edge, and that'll run the count full. A payoff pitch 2 out, 2 aboard, and 2 in the top of the 5th. And Butcher will dribble this foul. Good hands in the third base coach's box there for the Vibes. This will be pitch number 8, so Butcher putting together one of those professional at-bats. First time that we've seen that here tonight. Payoff pitch. Misses up and away. Butcher works the walk, and the bases are loaded for the ever-dangerous Dane Toffland. And this is not the guy you want to see with the bases juiced if you're Dimitri Young and the Owls in the dugout. Toffland, he can barrel up just about anything. And if he does so, this one could get out of control here on the top of the 5th. Here he's jammed, pokes one foul down the left field line. Some action in the Northern Colorado pen. Looks like it might be, it's either Danny Fox or Weibert who's down there. It's Danny Fox who's up and throwing in the Owls pen. Tofflin, man, if he had connected on that swing, he would have hit the ball back to Alberta. 0-2. The research team has pointed out that the field is not in that direction, so I guess he would have hit it back to the Springs. Cardinal direction-wise.
How long has that been running? 3-4 years?
0-2 from Kennedy.
Has been 3 years.
Down and in with the slider, misses for ball 1. That's a research team, Jordan Freemeyer to my right. He's a man of many talents, running the live stats, keeping up with the Northern Colorado rain match, keeping up with the Rockies, feeding us facts. Tofflin ground ball to short. It slips under McKenzie and into left center field. And Dane Tofflin converts with the 2 out base runners, brings home 2 more. It's a base hit for Tofflin, and it's 12-4 Vibes. Gary Laura will stand in as all of a sudden the crooked numbers starting to make their way on the scoreboard. 3 in the 3rd for the Vibes, 3 in the 4th, and 4 in the 5th. It's a base hit ruled for Tofflin as the first pitch from Kennedy misses to Gary Laura for ball 1. So Kennedy trying to stem the bleeding here in the top half of this 5th inning, and all of the runs unearned with the earlier error in the inning, so the earned run average won't take too big of a hit. 3-0 the count to Laura, with Stephen Wilmer waiting on deck. The Vibes plus 13, well, plus 17 now in the 5th inning this year, as the get me over strike from Kennedy does the job. Laura was doing his best statue impersonation at the dish. 3-1 on the way from Kennedy. Laura will swing here. He'll poke one to shallow right field. This will be a tough play. And Torellis reaching up makes the grab to retire the side over the shoulder back to the infield. And it stops the bleeding in the top of the 5th. 4 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and a pair of runners left on base. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. The Owls deficit stands at 8, 12-4. You're listening to Northern Colorado Owls Baseball. Manny Jackson will lead off the bottom of the fifth against a new pitcher. Tom Peltier, the left-hander, will take over and try and protect the 8-run Rocky Mountain lead. First pitch from Peltier. Swung on and missed for strike one by Manny Jackson. Peltier worked a pair of scoreless innings in the series down in the Springs. Allowed an unearned run. 2 innings, 1 hit allowed, 4 strikeouts, and no walks for the southpaw, 24 years of age in his second professional season. Jackson, a 3-hopper to Adams at second. He'll gather and throw across to Laura at first. 3 pitches and 1 out here in the bottom half of inning number 5. As Draylen Holmes, the Owlz center fielder, will stand in. Peltier played with Tri-City in the Frontier League last year. 5 years at Canisius Private School in the Buffalo area. That's the Golden Griffins for the research team, Jordan Freemeyer. Play in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. 0-2 quickly to Holmes. Holmes will take his 2-strike timeout. Peltier, the 0-2 delivery. Holmes set down on 3 pitches by way of the K. And 2 up, 2 down for Peltier. Second strikeout of the night for Holmes. 2 away and the base is empty for Matt Fabian. Swing and a miss for strike one for the Owl first baseman. Knocked the base hit his last time around. 0-1. Swung on and missed, and Fabian quickly in the hole 0-2. 0-2 quickly to Fabian as Peltier trying to work a scoreless and 1-2-3 bottom half of the 5th inning and didn't get the call on the edge. Fabian backdoor into the at-bat at 1-2. So Fabian trying to keep the line moving with 2 away. 1 for 2 tonight, base hit and a ground out on the resume for the Owl corner infielder. Deuces wild, 2-2 count, 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th. And Fabian sends that one straight back foul. And he'll see another offering from the left-hander Peltier. Peltier was added to the Vibes roster the week before the regular season on May 15th. Misses inside. Reared back for a little something extra on the fastball. That'll fill up the count 3-2. So Peltier already, though, has the look of a guy that can be a serious bullpen weapon as he gets Fabian to chase. And the Owls are down in order in the 5th. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning here at City Park in Fort Collins. The sun setting in the mountains and the Vibes with a 12-4 lead. You're listening to Northern Colorado Owls Baseball. top of inning number 6 as the Vibes will step to bat. Stephen Wilmer will lead it off against Kennedy, out for his second inning of work. And Wilmer hacks and misses out of first pitch strike. So the Owls, a 7-inning game here, game 2 of the doubleheader. Trying to limit this Rocky Mountain offense, which has not been an easy feat, as Wilmer wraps one foul towards the NOCO bullpen. And that one ate up somebody down there trying to make a play while being down in the bullpen. It might have been Elaine Lopez who tried to field that on a couple hops. Yeah, that's who it was. As Wilmer down by way of the K on 3 pitches. And so Kennedy bounces back here in the top of the 6th against that first out. And that will bring up Austin Chenard. First pitch from Kennedy to Chenard, a curveball. Breaks in towards the knees, down and in for ball 1. Chenard 1 for 3 with a base hit. Here he'll crack one foul down the third base line. Evens the count 1-1. His single was in the second inning, and his first at bat, a ground ball back up the middle past Ubaldo Romo. And curveball fouled off by Chenard down the first base side, and Kennedy a strike away from getting back-to-back batters. 1-2 on the way from Kennedy. Got him swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for the left-hander. 2 up, 2 down, and a very nice bounce back after that tough 5th inning for the southpaw. And really, you look at that half inning from Kennedy, it got away after that flare base hit into right field. Keeper was the man that led off that 5th inning, worked a walk. And that's what started the fiesta at the plate for the Rocky Mountain Vibes in that 4-run top of the 5th. Kennedy works ahead of Keeper, 0-1. Again, another doubleheader right back here at City Park tomorrow. First pitch in game 1 at 2 p.m. As Kennedy misses up and away for ball 1. Game 2 will begin 30 minutes after the conclusion of game 1. Obviously, weather permitting. It's spring in northern Colorado after all. Curveball misses downstairs below the knees. Keeper gets ahead 2-1. Garrett, second year in the Pioneer League after splitting 2023 in the Atlantic League. As timeout, Josh Kennedy wants a new baseball. Kennedy gets the sign, rocks and deals. Fastball missed outside, and Keeper will draw the 5-pitch 2-out walk. And this is where the lefty got into some trouble in the 5th inning. Alex Adams will stand in. First pitch to Adams misses down and away. And the Vibes second baseman ahead in the count. 1-0. Adams again will take a changeup that misses downstairs. Adams 1 for 3 tonight. Base hit, a run, a strikeout, a ground out, and a fly out. In the driver's seat, though, 2-0 here. Fastball catches the zone, 2-1. And that one gets away. Jackson sheds the mask, and Keeper will stay put at first base. No sense in running yourself into an out. Kennedy out of the stretch, the 3-1 on the way. Misses up and away, back-to-back 5-pitch walks that put runners at first and second. 2 outs in the lineup. Card will turn over for Sam Linscott. "12 runs on 13 hits and 1 error so far tonight for the Vibes. First pitch from Kennedy clips the bottom of the strike zone. And he'll get ahead of Linscott as he and Kellum Clark have powered the offense. Those two guys tonight, a combined 6 for 7 with 6 RBIs and a home run. And quickly, Kennedy powers ahead 0-2. Oh, 2 from Kennedy to Linscott, locked him up with the curveball. 3 strikeouts and a pair of walks, and a scoreless top of the 6th for the Southpaw. Joshua Kennedy will head to the bottom half of the inning. The Owls trying to dent in to a 12-4 deficit. You're listening to Northern Colorado Owls baseball. Marquise Jackson will lead off the bottom of the 6th for the Owls, followed by Torellis and Richardson against a new pitcher. As, according to the roster, it's the right-hander Caden Kratz who will take over, 25-year-old from Mason City, Iowa. Quickly works ahead of Jackson for strike 1. Kratz making his 3rd appearance of the year. He's thrown 2 1/3 innings, or rather 3 innings, allowed 4 hits, no earned runs, walked 2 and struck out 3 across his 2 appearances last year, or last series rather. With the Vibes, his 2nd year in Colorado Springs, as they count 1-2 to Marquise Jackson. Kratz gets the sign. Fastball misses away, and the count 2-2. A right-hander appeared in 13 games last year, or 15 games and 13 innings rather last year for the visiting Vibes after 3 years of college ball at Western Illinois, as he gets Jackson swinging on strikes for out number 1 here in the bottom half of the inning. As Anthony Torrielas will stand in. Torrielas had that nice defensive play to end the 5th inning. Limited the damage at 4. First pitch from Kratz, off speed, drops in the curveball for strike 1. Torrielas trying to jumpstart this Owl offense, who only have 5 outs left, and he'll foul that off down the first base line for strike 2. Torrielas 0 for 2 tonight, a strikeout and a ground out on the account. The Owl middle infielder in his 2nd professional season. And that one misses up and away. Kratz was trying to get that backdoor slider in the upper half of the zone. It's Northern Colorado staring down the barrel of a twin bill sweep here tonight, as that one misses down and away, evens the count 2-2. Last year, the Owls split in doubleheaders. They were 3-3. They did not split a twin bill at all last year. They either swept them or got swept. They had won the first game of the doubleheader in Colorado Springs before the second was washed out. 2-2, Torrielas bends out of the way. Check that. That was ball 4. And the Owl second baseman will draw the 1-out walk. And that will bring up Gordon Richardson.
Now batting, number 7, Gordon Richardson.
A 9-hole hitter will try and jumpstart this Northern Colorado offense that had the 6th spot in game 1 tonight. Stuck on 4 here as Kratz misses outside for ball 1. Maybe a bit up as well. Again, no ABS challenges, no TrackMan, no pitch clock this weekend. So as that one misses down low for ball 2. So we're returning to, 2022 Pioneer League action. That was the first year of the league as a partner league and the only year where they did not have the pitch clock and the ABS. And the first year after they instituted the pitch clock in the PBL, the average game time shortened by 45 minutes across the league. 2-2, the count now to Richardson. Well, somebody's grilling or having a bonfire. How apropos with the vibes in town. 2-2, and Richardson caught watching the paint dry. The hammer drops in for strike 3, second K of the inning for Kratz, and there's 2 away. And the lineup card will turn over for TJ McKenzie. So McKenzie will try and keep the line moving with 2 away. And for Vibes pitching tonight, that is the 9th strikeout across their 3 pitchers. 5 for Binns, 2 for Peltier, and 2 and counting for the right-hander Kratz. A 1 on the way from Kratz to McKenzie. Man, that pitch didn't miss by much at the top of the strike zone. Kratz and Chenard both wanted it. The count even at 1-1. as the Owlz roommates, the Northern Colorado Reign FC women's soccer team, in action down in Colorado Springs, ironically enough. Playing at UCCS tonight, the Reign with a 3-0 advantage already. Macy Schultz, Mia Casey, and Abby Ballack with the goals for the Reign. McKenzie will take his obligatory 2-strike timeout. The count even at 2-2. Kratz will step off as well. So McKenzie will step back in as everyone trying to ready themselves again. Kratz trying to work around the 2-out walk and strike out the side here in the bottom half of the inning. 2-2 fastball painted the inside corner, just doesn't get the call, and that'll run the count full. Payoff pitch from Kratz to McKenzie. Misses down and away. Chenard keeps the ball in front of him. And runners at first and second now as the line keeps moving for Kai Moody. Kai Moody has been the power bat in the Northern Colorado lineup. Back at it. A 2-run home run already on the resume tonight for Moody. 1 for 3 on the evening. Takes a slider away for ball 1. Moody will try and bring home a couple of Owls out on the base paths. Kratz catches the corner, evens the count 1-1. Moody trying to bring the Owls a little closer here in the bottom of the 6th. And that one, look out. Oh, that was a clean catch down in the bullpen, I think. Or did folks just duck and cover? Danny Fox, pitcher some days, outfielder other days, and tonight, savior of his fellow bullpen arms down there. Oh, 1-2, the count to Moody. Kratz gets the sign. Misses outside to even the count 2-2. It's Moody. A home run in 3 consecutive ball games now with his first inning blast. Here a foul tip held on to by Chenard, and that will retire the side in the bottom of the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 Owls left on base. We'll head to the top of the 7th. The Vibes with a 12-4 lead trying to sweep the doubleheader. This is Northern Colorado Owls baseball. Top of the 7th inning, and a new arm on for Northern Colorado as the right-hander Danny Fox will take over and make his 3rd appearance of the year out of the Owl bullpen. First pitch in for strike 1 to Callum Clark.
I'm pretty sure you balled him up 8 and 4 today as he already went down.
Fox, 3 innings and a 3rd pitch this year, 3 strikeouts, a 16.20 earned run average. The right-hander officially in his first full Pioneer League season. He got 2 games with these Vibes last year at the tail end of the year, count even 1-1. Fox, his last time out was a week ago on a Friday night. Gave up 5 earned runs, inning and a third as he misses and falls behind Clark 2-1. And we talk about the amount of damage that the top 2 hitters in this 5 order have done tonight. Clark 3 for 4, 2 2-run doubles on the resume tonight for the Vibe outfielder. Count 3-1. That pitch just missed on the outside edge. The sun slowly setting beyond the trees here at City Park in Fort Collins tonight. Backdoor slider misses away, and a 5-pitch walk for Clark in his 5th appearance of the ball game. Leadoff runner aboard for Les Lancaster's crew. So Will Butcher will stand in, 2 for 2, 3 RBIs, a couple of walks for the Vibe designated hitter. Fox, a 2-way player, played 3rd base in college. We've seen him in the outfield as well down in the Springs, and he is a hard thrower. Can touch mid-90s with that fastball. 0-1 the count to Butcher, who has reached base in all 4 plate appearances tonight. And here, a fly ball into left center field. Holmes will call it and take it on the pop fly, a can of corn for out number 1. As Dane Toplin will stand in. Had the 2-run base hit as part of that 4-run top of the 6th inning. 2 in the first, nothing in the second. 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 4 in the 5th, and nothing in the 6th for the Rocky Mountain Vibes offense tonight. They've hit double digits for the 8th time in 9 games at Northern Colorado's expense. As the Owl offense leaving it all for the bottom of the 7th here, down 12-4. A 1 slider has some good movement to it, evens the count. The right-hander with a 4-pitch mix, 4-seam fastball, slider, cutter, and a changeup. 1-1 on the way. Goes back to the slider, chopper to third, deep in the hole at third. Jenkins throw to second for 1. Across to first, the throw late. And Fabian able to keep the throw from going up the first base line. We heard a riddle. What gets bigger as you take something away? A hole. Gary Laura will stand in with 2 away. See, it's one of those dad jokes. So I can get with that. You know, they have dad jokes. They don't have granddad jokes, and they should. Fastball misses downstairs for ball 1 to Gary Laura, the Vibes first baseman. That's what I need to start doing, creating my own line of granddad jokes. Strike 1, cutter in on the hands, freezes Laura to even the count. Had the grandkids over to the house the other day, and they were helping. Well, I'm not sure how much they were helping build fences and water the plants. They were They were enjoying jumping in the puddles is what they were doing. 2-1,
Tom Sawyer.
the count to Lawyer.
So far, you can't do it.
Laura, a 3-run home run in game 1 of the doubleheader. Fox trying to get the third out here in the top of the 7th. Misses at the top of the zone, and the count 3-1. Stephen Wilmer waiting in the on-deck circle for the Vibes with 2 away and a runner on first. Laura 1 for 4 with an RBI base hit. And he takes up and in for ball 4. Back-to-back 2-out base runners here for the Vibes in the top half of the 7th inning. Well, get Stephen Wilmer his 5th plate appearance of the ball game. Stephen Wilmer will, with the right-hander Fox in the ball game, turn around and bat from the left side. First pitch fastball from Fox misses outside for ball 1 at the letters. Fox trying to hang a 0 here in the top half of the 7th inning as Wilmer trick shot bounces one off the backstop, and Chenard will duck away from the carom. So Wilmer, Wilmer 0 for 4 with a walk and a run tonight. Cutter doesn't come back over the plate. Wilmer in the driver's seat ahead 2-1. As the Owls trying to get to the bottom of the 7th inning with just the 8-run deficit. 12-4 as Wilmer hacks and misses at the fastball, and Fox a strike away from maneuvering around a pair of 2-out walks here in the top half of the inning. Toffland off second, Laura off of first. Fox a long look in at Jackson, gets a sign he likes, delivers out of the stretch. And that's a ground ball base hit past the dive into right field. The throw home from Jackson, a bullet. And Toffland cut down at the plate to retire the side in the 7th. 12-4, the Owls trail the Vibes. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base as the Owls need 8 to tie, 9 to win here at City Park in Fort Collins. Kyle Jenkins will lead off the bottom of the 7th for the Owls against a new pitcher, as the right-hander Trey Morrell will stand in for the Vibes out on the hill, third year rather, with the Rocky Mountain Vibes. Fastball misses up and away for ball 1. Appeared in 37 games last year, 3-3 with a 5.03 earned run average. Count even 1-1 to Jenkins. Last time out, through a scoreless inning of work, surrendered just 1 hit. He's had 2 good innings of work this year, and sandwiching a bit of a tougher outing for the right-hander, which he allowed 4 earned runs across a third of an inning. That was in the 9th inning, and that Owls comeback that fell just short after the walk-off. Vibes win 10-9. And here on 4 pitches, Morrell makes quick work of Jenkins for out number 1 in the bottom of the 7th, and that will bring up Manny Jackson. So Jackson stands in. First pitch misses outside for ball 1. Manny trying to keep the line moving here for Northern Colorado. Wave and a miss from the Owl catcher, evens the count 1-1. Jackson on the night 0 for 3 with a strikeout on the resume for the Owl catcher, and a ringing base hit back up the middle on 1 hop, and a 1-out hit, and that ball was labeled right back up the box. That could have been the decapitation station if Morrell hadn't ducked out of the way, as Traylon Holmes will stand in with 1 away and Jackson aboard.
Now batting, the center fielder, Traylon Holmes.
Holmes, 2/3 of the way to the true outcome trifecta. He has the walk, he has the 2 strikeouts, just missing his first professional round tripper, and instead takes a fastball up in on the hands, had to bend out of the way of that. So Holmes evacuated the box in rapid order, and Morrell comes right back with the slider. Holmes swings and misses, evens the count 1-1.
Is that
1-1. Holmes will fly that behind the press box out and play for strike 2. It's the Owl rookie center fielder trying to avoid the hat trick at the dish. And the fastball, Morrell humped up for something extra there. Blows it past Holmes. And it's the 3 strikeout night for Traylon. And the Owls are down to their final out. And Matt Fabian will look to forestall the fate. I've seen stranger things in this league with 2 outs. First pitch for Morrell. Fastball in on the hands. Misses for ball 1. As it stands, Malik Bins in line for the win for the Vibes. And Ubaldo Romo saddling the L. Fabian, a ground ball to short. Keeper will flip it the short way to Adams at second, and that's the ball game. The Vibes walk away with a 12-4 win. They finish with 12 runs on 14 hits and 1 error. Malik Bins gets the victory, his first of the year. He improves to 1-0. Ubaldo Romo gets the loss, his second, falling to 0-2. The Owls finish with 4 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. Northern Colorado falls to 1-8 on the season. They'll look for revenge tomorrow afternoon in the doubleheader here in Fort Collins. The time of game tonight, 2 hours and 28 minutes, as Rocky Mountain, powered by a 4 RBI night from Kellum Clark. A couple of home runs from the Vibe offense. Get the job done at 12-4, the final score from City Park tonight in Fort Collins. Brendan Price signing off. We'll be right back here at City Park. 2 p.m. first pitch for Game 1 of tomorrow's doubleheader as the Owls will look for the series split. Thank you so much for spending some of your Friday here with us. This has been a presentation of Northern Colorado Owls Baseball.